Welcome to Losi Fanta Audio Adventures. This series is about true stories that really happened. Stories in which men twist themselves into knots, women mercilessly play out their quirks, and no one can seriously claim to have acted out of pure reason. Told with biting wit, humor, and delightful sarcasm. Enjoy listening to the things people do out of love, lust, or desire, and bitterly regret. Experiences caught between heart and body.
The Shopping Queen with a House Dream, an ode to modern relationship fantasies. So, let me tell you about a woman who crossed my path in life. A woman who radiates as much charm as a luxury shopping mall and carries so many ideas of the perfect life that even Disney would struggle to keep up. I've known her forever, simply because we lived in the same town. And by town, I don't mean some anonymous big city. I mean one of those small places where everyone knows everyone, or at least keeps running into each other whether they like it or not. So naturally, we kept meeting in clubs, bars, or just randomly on the street. I mean, it's not like you can actually avoid people in a town like that, right? At some point, we met on Facebook, as if we'd been best friends all along. No idea why, but nothing serious ever happened between us. We just kept losing sight of each other over and over again. But as we all know, once someone is on your Facebook list, that's basically a lifelong, long-distance relationship. Every now and then, we'd exchange a bit of small talk via Messenger. Very exciting stuff. You could almost call us a modern 21st century love story. No actual dates, just emojis and likes. Then came the big update. She had a child. Yes, a tiny bundle of joy that I was allowed to admire through the sacred halls of Facebook. Between countless baby photos and I love my life posts, I was, of course, kept fully informed. Until one day, she started texting me again. The child's father was apparently no longer the man of her dreams. Or maybe her nightmares? So we met up. And surprise, the little rascal came along. Because why would anyone want a relaxed date when you can bring a small, hyperactive mini-monster with you? That said, the kid was kind of charming, and I thought to myself, why not? I don't mind kids, as long as they're not climbing up my arms and covering me in frosting. So after entering what I like to call the slow motion phase, we actually went on a series of dates. And guess what? It was always top tier only. I mean, this woman isn't exactly new to the game. Luxury dining is a must. As someone who's doing reasonably well financially, I thought, why not? I can afford it. But eventually, after about the 15th date, I figured it might be time for the next step. Calmly, without drama. So I brought up the topic of intimacy. And how does the shopping queen respond? With a perfectly reasonable suggestion. Sure, we can move forward, but only if you get tested for STDs first. Of course, no party without tests, right? She sent me a list of tests I should take, and honestly, for a moment, I thought she'd accidentally sent me a shopping list. But hey, no problem. I wanted to do my part. The only catch? I had to go to her preferred doctor because other doctors aren't good enough. Naturally. So off I went to get tested. Or rather, to the lab. After all, I wanted to be healthy and ready to enjoy this perfect future with her and her child. I didn't just blindly do the tests, though. I spoke with the assistant doctor, who explained that some of the tests were completely unnecessary unless you had symptoms, especially since they were expensive and complicated. So I stuck to the essentials: HIV, HPV, and all the fun stuff nobody actually wants. The result? Completely healthy. I was thrilled, ready to take the next step. After a few intense and nice moments came the next surprise. Don't you feel like trying new things in bed? She was craving adventure, and what's better than introducing a little toy? Sure, I'm open-minded. But then came the big but. I want a small dildo for you that I can sight up your ass. Excuse me, what? I thought we were talking about you, not turning my backside into a science experiment. But that was my absolute limit. Her reaction? That of an impatient dragon. You never do what I want. And now for the real masterpiece. She expected regular luxury dinners, zoo visits, yes, zoo visits, with us adults and the child, obviously, Gucci scarves for herself, and covering your son. And of course, all of this was supposed to be paid for by me, because I was the perfect Chopik. And what did I do? I paid. Every time. And no, now, we always stayed at our place, because coming to mine was apparently never appropriate. But each comes the peak of madness. She demanded that I buy a new car, because my standard car wasn't safe enough for your son. Obviously, this required a 100 productive euro vehicle. And the cherry on top? She decades a car herself. Makes perfect sense, right? I refused to buy the car, and the discussions entered the next round.
Still, I stayed. There were feelings, after all, and we did have good moments. But just when I thought it couldn't get any crazier, she asked me how I'd feel about my mother moving into my house, so that we could move into her house. Yes, you heard that right. She had never even seen my house, but she knew my mother's house was in such a nice location. And of course, I should buy new furniture for the house. She would pick it out. Naturally, she is the expert on everything. And then came the styling upgrade with the final boss, the shopping queen herself. One day she said, "Baby, you really should update your wardrobe." Sure, I thought. She used to work in a boutique. She probably knows how to turn me into the next Brad Pitt. So why not? I gave her my account for an online clothing store and, very important, my credit card. Yes, I know. Rule number 1 in life: never give away my credit card, especially not to a woman. But I was optimistic and made just one tiny request. Please don't overdo it. I only need a jacket, a pair of pants, and maybe one top. Sounds reasonable, right? A week later, I was proven very wrong. The delivery guy at my door was cursing like he was carrying a piano. When I opened the door, I stood in front of a tower of packages. Packages reaching into the stratosphere. This wasn't just a lot. This was a full department store delivery. I was honestly close to asking if they could throw in a warehouse as well. And the price? 4,500 euros. 4,500 euros! For a fashion show I never asked for. So I called her, and of course I didn't ask why, but whether she had completely lost her mind. Her response? An emotional attack on my ungrateful soul. I stayed up all night clicking through clothes, thinking about what would suit you. And now you're not even grateful. Ah yes, my mistake. Who wouldn't cry tears of gratitude over nearly 5,000 euros spent on non-designer clothes they never wanted? Luckily, I had a joker. Returns. Everything went back except one coat and one pair of pants. because, surprise, those were actually the only things I needed. The rest? A lesson for me and my credit card. Never again. And then it was over. I just couldn't take it anymore. Soon after, the accusations followed. She sent me a message claiming I had never done anything for her or her son. And the best part? She said I was a bad person because I never gave her a luxury lifestyle. Well, I guess she's right. I really am a terrible person for not handing out gold coins and buying 100,000 euro cars just because of a woman. And today, well, she still texts me, and I ignore her. Fun fact, I have a new girlfriend, a new car, and soon my own child. Someone clearly put my life on fast forward. Thanks for listening. Honestly, respect for sticking it out all the way to the end. I hope you had fun, or at least felt a tiny bit called out. Maybe you even thought, thank goodness that wasn't me. Don't worry, the next story is definitely coming. And next time, too, it'll be about the things people do out of love, lust, or desire, and later regret. Until next time, on Losi Fanta Audio Adventures.